In the aftermath of Scotland's horrendous defeat to the Netherlands, it was a collapse there in the last half an hour. We can talk about a good two-thirds, but let's talk about the guy between the sticks, because that is the talking point this morning. Is Owen Murphy said Craig Gordon is the best goalkeeper Scotland have at this point. I think you just pick him, including to assess precisely where he is at. That's partly what friendlies are for. So yeah, that's what he said about that. But then Chris Sutton, he stepped in. He replied to Owen Murray here, and he turned around and said that Angus Gunn is the best goalkeeper that Scotland have. So I think it's safe to say that Liam Kelly and Sander Clark are not going to be in this debate, right? I think we can accept that. I think whoever is going to start for Scotland at the Euros, it's definitely going to be between those two. It's going to be between Craig Gordon and Angus Gunn. But saying that, I would pretty much say 95% chance that Angus Gunn is going to start, because he started this game. And Craig Gordon, right, it would take a miraculous turnaround for him to start games, I think, for Scotland. And that goes for anyone right now. Angus Gunn just seems to be the new number one. When we on this channel think that Craig Gordon is the best, I mean, to be honest, I think we know. Yeah, you know, he's just returned for a double leg break. Not easy, especially at the age of 42. But I think it's a joke. You know, you can't just dish out places in a team, right, because someone is old and it might be their last, well, it will be his last tournament unless he somehow, I mean, I guess the next World Cup's not out the question for Craig Gordon, but first of all, we'd have to get to the next World Cup. You see where I'm coming with this? So for Craig Gordon, I think this is going to be his last tournament, and I'm not one of those people that thinks, well, you know what, sentimental over quality. I actually think Craig Gordon is better than Angus Gunn, but you may be wondering, why is Chris Sutton saying this? I'll tell you why Chris Sutton's saying this, because Angus Gunn plays for Norwich City. And who did Chris Sutton play for? Norwich City. Who's Chris Sutton? I would say Chris Sutton's team in England is Norwich. I would definitely say that for him. So that's where he started his career. Now, yeah, obviously, when you hear Chris Sutton, he does do a lot, obviously, for TNT. But he did a lot for TNT, did a lot for English football, punditry-wise. But you think of Chris Sutton, you automatically think of Celtic, so it is kind of hard to forget or hard to remind yourself what he did down in England. But of course, you know, he did win a Premier League with Blackburn Rovers. He was Chelsea's worst ever signing. And he had the early years, like I said, at Norwich City. So I simply think he's just putting his loyalty to Norwich here and saying that the Norwich City goalkeeper is the best option. I don't think he is, man. I don't think he is. I think it's Craig Gordon all the way. But with Craig Gordon, it would have been interesting to see, right, if Gordon came back for that double leg break and just replaced Sander Clark immediately. And then, like, would he have went straight back into the Scottish number one spot? That's the question. Has Stephen Naismith shafted Craig Gordon? I mean, I think some people will say yes, but that's where you've got to look at it. If he can't start for Hearts over a guy that he's actually in front of in the pecking order for Scotland, then how's he going to start in front of a guy who's in front of him in the pecking order for Scotland, and he's also in front of the guy that starts in front of him for Hearts? You know, there's a lot of words in there, there's a lot of goalkeepers in there, but the reality is, I just don't see what Craig Gordon can do to honestly get the starting spot for the Euros. So for me, it's definitely going to be Angus Gunn, but I don't think he's the best we've got. I mean, I kind of called it out last night, and a lot of people in the comments have backed me up that I think he could have done more on the first goal. Angus Gunn, I mean, he's conceded 4. Now, yeah, for the most part, it was the actual defenders that were horrendous for the defending, but I think the first goal is bad. Yeah, the defender was bad for it as well, because no one closed him down, right? Whatever the guy, Nedgeland or something, I can't remember what his name was. But he shot, and Angus Gunn, man, just nowhere near it. And some of the headers as well, and the other goals, like, what's Angus Gunn doing? Apart from the Depay save, I thought he was pretty pants. But that's where we're going to leave it. Could Craig Gordon have done better? Potentially. But at the same time, if Craig Gordon started this game, we'll get scud at 4-0. It's the same with Shankland. We're seeing a lot of hate for Shankland. Oh, he can do it against Ross County, but he can't do it against the Netherlands. No one's denying, right, that going for Ross County to up against like Virgil van Dijk is a massive step up. I don't think anyone's ever going to dispute that. But let's not kid ourselves here. Lawrence Shankland has banged in goals against the Old Firm all season. Last season in European competitions, he was banging in the goals as well. and this season he was banging in goals in Europe. So let's not pretend that, you know, Lawrence Shankland is shite. It was a bad miss, right? But he'll bounce back for it. Could have very easily went in, but we don't deal in if buts maybes. But he's still our best striker, and for me, Craig Gordon is our best goalkeeper. So Hearts should have 2 players in the starting 11, which is more than Celtic and Rangers can pose these days. But anyway, till next time, peace.